You're listening to The Bible Guys, a podcast where a couple of friends talk about the Bible in fun and practical ways.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to The Bible Guys.
It's good to be here.
It is. It's very good, Jeff. In fact, it's so good that I wish I were nowhere else.
Only here.
Only here.
Only here. With all of our listeners.
And with all of our listeners.
That's right. Just riding along in their car.
With the Lord.
Yes.
Oh, how do you know they're in the car?
I don't know. Sitting on the couch.
Do you think most people listen in the morning?
I don't know.
You have no idea?
I have no idea.
There's no way to track that?
Yeah, there is. I can look it up. You keep talking and I'll look it up.
For real? You can look it up right now?
I'll look it up right now.
Wow. I wonder if anybody's curious.
Yeah, here we go.
Or are they more like, why are you wasting our time?
Yeah, and they're like, who cares, guys?
There's 30 seconds I could have gotten back from my life.
Uh-huh.
Did you ever watch something and say, I just wasted 3 minutes of my life?
Yes.
So
I've listened to podcasts before. Like,
there it is.
Let's see.
All right, while you're doing that,
keep going.
Let me just go ahead and say we're in a theme this week. We're talking about God's promises, and this week we're focusing God's provision. And today we're going to go ahead and talk about Psalm 23, which is a very, very, very famous passage of Scripture.
Yes.
A lot of people have this memorized. And before we do, we have a segment called Who's Most Likely?
Okay.
All right, so it's Who's Most Likely, and we're supposed to read it and then decide whether it's Chris or Jeff.
Excellent. Yeah, so here you go. Look at Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It looks like they watch us mostly in the evenings.
Holy Christmas.
You see that?
Yeah.
After lunch, people are watching us in the middle of the day at work, it looks like.
Or at home, if they're stay-at-home people. Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Now, is there any more graph? Does it slide?
Let me see how it goes.
No, that's it, huh?
Yeah.
But it goes all the way to like at the end there.
Yeah.
So, wow.
So, we have a lot of evening people after 6 p.m., but we've got a bunch of 2, 3, and 4 o'clockers too.
Yeah, Friday.
And then we've got a ton of just regular morning people.
Friday mornings.
Uh-huh.
There's more people that watch us in the mornings.
We have lots of, so the episodes come out at like 6 a.m., right?
Sure.
Isn't that when they come out? And so we have a lot in the morning, but it's surprising how dense it is right there in that 4 or 5 o'clock. People are listening to us on the way home from work.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. Wow.
Huh.
Well, then, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
That's funny. Did you ever see Spirited with Will Ferrell and
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
And he says, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
He says, oh, that was a doozy back in the day.
Yeah.
Okay. So who's most likely? Here we go. Jeff, number 1.
Okay.
Who's most likely to start a story and forget how it ends halfway through?
Me.
Are you?
I do it regularly. You're a story guy.
Yeah.
And then I'm a storyteller, but I get in the weeds on all the details.
Yeah.
And then forget where I was going.
That's so funny. Yeah, I agree you. I don't, I usually, now I've done that with jokes before, where I'll start a joke and I'd say, I remember this joke. And then I'll start, hey, there was this guy. And then I go, wait a minute, let me stop here. let me make sure I got this right. I did that the other day. But I've done that with jokes before.
Nope.
All right, number 2.
Who's most likely to text someone while standing right next to them?
I did it in DLT when I was talking to Dave Wilson.
I was going to say, I think it's you.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, you are very dialed into your phone. You're on your phone
too much
all the time.
I get it.
And very much.
And by the way,
you're connected to text. You reply to text immediately.
I'm going to give you props on this. So you are very polite to me when you probably could probably tell me, hey, listen, I need you to put your phone down. You're very tolerant, very polite, because I do. I abuse it in meetings sometimes, and I should just put it away.
So, and it's not that I have good manners or anything. It's just I hate having a leash.
Yeah.
And I feel like texting is a little bit of a leash.
Yeah.
Listen to me right now.
Right.
As opposed to, hey, when you're done doing what you're doing, would you give me some attention?
Right.
Instead, everybody has this insistence that you reply right now. So I just don't ever, for anybody, make a promise that I'm going to reply to a text right away.
Right.
And so I get to it when it's my next time. But I also just put my phone down. If I'm in a meeting, I'm not always on my phone.
Yeah, it'll be several hours before you even pick it up.
Yeah, I just avoid not paying attention to it. So, and it's just because that leash.
All right, so that's me. Number 3. Who's most likely to say "you too" to a waiter who says "enjoy your meal"?
I've done it.
I kid you not. This just happened. This just happened to me.
Yeah.
I went to the airport and I was getting Chick-fil-A breakfast. And I went through the line and she gave me the bag and she said, "Enjoy your food." I said, "You too."
Yeah.
And then I said, "Thank you."
Yep.
And I walked away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's funny. Brian Regan has that whole YouTube section.
You too.
It's so funny.
Hey, enjoy your movie. You too. The next time you see a movie.
If you ever happen to have a chance to. Who's most likely to open the fridge, stare inside, and then close it with no plan? That is me. Just did it.
Just did it?
Just did it. Yep. Open the refrigerator, and I'm standing there, and it dawns on me, I don't know why I'm looking in the fridge. I just was walking past, and hey, open the fridge, look in. And,
Well, you have a fancy fridge where you can see what's inside.
Yeah, on my phone right now.
Yeah.
I can see what's on my fridge right now.
In your fridge?
Yeah.
And by the way, just to be clear, you inherited that fridge.
Yeah, when we bought the house, it came with it.
Yeah. So you didn't seek this feature. This feature fell upon you.
No, but now that I have it,
I don't understand why anybody would need.
Yeah, I don't know why anybody
other than hey, I'm at Kroger. Do we have milk?
That's what happens sometimes. But
then sometimes you have containers where you can't see really.
Yeah.
You're like, it looks like we have milk, but I didn't know that it was only this.
You can't tell that it's half an inch of milk, Oh, don't it?
But you can look at fridge.
Yeah. So right now my fridge is telling me that the door is closed, which is really good. And then I can turn it up and down. Yeah, see, there's everything in my fridge.
Wow.
So I got some salad there that needs to be fixed. We have some cannolis in there.
Hilarious.
There's some hot dogs down there.
I can't believe
I got eggs.
I can't believe we're using people's minutes for this. It's fascinating. I can't turn away.
I can't look through. What's Jeff have in his fridge? I
have to look.
You know, we could do a live cam for all of our listeners.
Yeah.
Just so they can watch what's in my fridge all day, every day.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And then you see how many times the doors go open.
Okay, number 5. Here, and this is the last one.
Okay.
Who's most likely to leave the house and realize halfway they forgot their keys again?
Yeah, I do it.
Do you?
Do it? Yeah, I'm a forgetful person.
Yeah, I do forget things, but by the way, keys, I only have car keys.
Yeah.
I don't have any other keys.
Yeah.
So I can't forget my keys because I can't start my car without my keys.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't have keys for anything else.
Yeah.
So
I forget stuff all the time.
Yeah, I do forget things. So there's plenty of times where I'll be like, "Bye guys," and I'll leave, and then 3 minutes later, the door opens and they don't even ask. They don't say, "Hey, Dad, is that you?" They're just like, "Oh, he forgot something." Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
And I run in and grab something and then go back out. So
I went out to my truck. This just happened. Went out my truck. Same thing. I can't start my truck without my keys.
Yeah.
I go out and it's really, really bright. And I have light colored eyes, right? So bluish eyes. So and then I had some trouble a number of years ago, and so I'm really affected by outdoor light. Bright outdoor light. So I walk out and I'm squinting. I'm like, oh, I gotta get my sunglasses. And so I jump up in the truck to see if my sunglasses they're not there. And then I realize, oh, I don't have my keys. So I run in the house. I run all the way upstairs, all the way down the hallway to our bedroom. I run in. I grab my sunglasses. I run all the way back down, get back in the truck, go to start the truck. Don't have my keys. I just told myself I need to get my key.
Right.
And then instead I had to run all the way back upstairs.
Yeah,
so it just happened.
That's double level.
This just happened.
Yeah, that's a new level there.
Yep.
So I think you win that one for sure.
Okay. Well, hey, that's just a little bit about us.
That's it.
In case you were curious.
Yes.
So, talking about curious, I don't know. I don't have anything. Something about me.
I'll tell you this. You know the only thing more fascinating than what's in your fridge?
What's that?
Psalm 23.
Oh, no.
Well, it is bad transitions.
Oh, that's a terrible transition. Yeah, that's what we're always trying to do is have the worst possible transition.
Oh, how about this one?
Okay.
There's only 6 verses in Psalm 23, and each one of them stand on their own like different ingredients, just like in your fridge.
In my fridge. Yeah. Okay.
That was worse.
Yeah, that was terrible.
That was terrible, too. Yeah.
Hey, can I tell you about something?
I guess you're gonna.
Just had some people over to our house the other day.
Yeah.
You know them.
Yes.
And I decided to grill for them.
Yes.
And I was going to, you've been in my office in my house. I have 40, 50 cookbooks. Weird, right?
Yeah.
So I like reading recipes. I could not find what I wanted to make for them. And I kept thinking in my mind, I want to make something for fall.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of anything. All of a sudden, I had this brain explosion, and I'm all excited. And I decided I was going to make and I didn't have a recipe for it. I was going to make a cider braised, or marinated, a cider marinated chicken breasts. And then I started digging in. I finally come up with this recipe for cider and sage, and all this stuff is really, really good. And then I went to sleep, and I was really proud of myself. And while I was sleeping, I thought, you know what I should do? I should smoke those on a cedar plank. So they were smoked cider and sage chicken breasts.
Chicken breasts.
They were so good.
Were they good?
Yes, very much fall. I wouldn't want it in spring, but it was so good for fall. And those things were in my fridge. So that's what was in there.
Wow.
Full circle. Here we go. Let's get to Psalm 23.
Full circle.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Psalm 23 is probably, as far as chapters go, the most famous chapter.
It's your favorite?
In the Bible. One of them. Yeah.
Okay.
There's so many favorites. But Psalm 23 is probably the most famous chapter in the Bible, don't you think?
I definitely think so. Yeah. Yeah, because it's a whole chapter and it's only 6 verses. Mm-hmm. And people have heard it mostly at funerals.
Yeah, that's right. And most people have heard it King James.
That's right.
Right?
Yep.
So in the King James, it says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever." So that's the King James.
So I was so fascinated by Psalm 23 that I read this book called Shepherd's Guide or Shepherd's View, whatever it's called, of Psalm 23, and the whole book broke down every verse.
Oh, I had somebody give me that book.
Did they? Yeah. It was a small book.
Yeah.
And I was so fascinated with it that it says, "Oh, every shepherd knows this, every shepherd knows this, every shepherd knows this." And I thought to myself, do they though? Because I'm a skeptic. And so, I was fascinated with the applications of all these things. I mean, they're so insightful that every time I mention them, even reference mention them, people go, "No way," right? And so, but then when I was in Israel, we were driving from the north to the south. We were coming from Nazareth down to Jerusalem, and then there's like a stretch there where it's like it starts to get more barren.
Yeah.
Right. So there's like it's greener up north. Northern Israel is greener, and then as you come down, it gets more barren, which means you have to go down into the valleys to get the grass.
The grass. Yeah.
Right. And so. Anyway, so I'm walking, we're riding down this road, and I see a shepherd. And I said, pull over, pull over. So they pulled over. We flagged this guy down, convinced him that we weren't going to harm him. And then I just said, "Hey, here's a Bible." And I said, "I don't know if you're a Christian or not, but I said, let me just show you Psalm." And he said, "Oh, I'm familiar with this." And I said, "I just have a question." I said, "Does every shepherd have a rod, a staff, and a cup?" And he showed me everything. He said, here's the rod, here's the staff, and he had a bag on his like a satchel thing, and he opened the bag, and he had actually it was like a, in my mind it's a goblet. It's the Raiders of the Ark goblet, right? But he had a flip cup like this, right? He had a cup, and it's made for medicine. Did you know that?
Oh no.
So every shepherd, when they take their some of them will if the herd's big enough, what they'll do is they can only graze in a spot long enough, right? So they can't overgraze on a spot, and if you overgraze a spot, that spot will be dead for a year.
Yeah, because sheep grab and pull up by the roots.
Yes.
Cows bite grass off at the top, but the sheep will pull it up by the roots. If you overgraze, it won't ever grow back.
So what happens is a person with a big, huge herd, what they'll do is they'll actually go on a journey. And if it's a big enough, herd, and it's a big enough journey, and it's scarce enough, they can go on a year's journey. They'll literally go away from their home, and they'll take care of the sheep, and they'll be in different sectors before they make their way all the way back home.
Wow.
And so what happens is every shepherd, if they go, just for a week or a month or whatever, they try to take just enough medicine with them on the journey. And then what ends up happening is when a sheep does need something, and a sheep is sick or oil or whatever it is for their head or whatever, they pull out and they try to think to themselves, I wonder how many sheep are going to get sick. So what they do is they always apply in scarcity. it's always minimum amount, always, because they say, I don't know what this journey is going to bring. So I'm not going to overuse. I'm going to give just enough. So the idea of a cup that a shepherd has is always minimum provision, always.
Huh.
And so when David, who grew up as a shepherd,
my cup runs over,
says, yeah, I get emotional thinking about it. He says, my cup overflows. In other words, there's no minimum. There's nothing held back, right? Because the Lord is my shepherd.
I've got everything I need from.
I have all that I need. I have all that I want.
Yeah.
And so each of these verses carries this huge shepherd truth, and it's like, wow, we don't because we didn't, we weren't raised as shepherds, so we don't understand how rich this is.
Yeah. And
there's only a few. I mean, you think about it. God carries the theme of clay in the potter's hand, right?
Yeah.
All the way from the Old Testament, Jeremiah, all the way to Romans, right? So it's a theme that goes throughout the Bible. And of course, the comparisons are just deep and rich and wide, right? And then I would say this is the other strong theme.
Oh, yeah.
We're
sheep.
We're sheep.
Shepherds.
Jesus says, I'm the gate, I'm the shepherd. They know my voice. The pastor's called a shepherd, right? The sheep are the flock. Yeah. I mean, it's a rich comparison, and it's a great comparison.
Yeah.
Right.
So what is the job of the sheep?
The job of the sheep, the job of the sheep is to live and be taken care of, and then provide wool, I guess, right? But to give back to the shepherd, right?
Yeah, produce.
Produce.
That's the only purpose.
That's right.
Either you're going to produce wool or food. Those are milk.
Right.
So yeah, but the job of the sheep is to produce.
Right.
So the shepherd's job is to provide the environment to be able to help the sheep produce everything that needs to be produced.
That's right.
Right.
Which means taking care of them.
So leading, protecting, feeding, all those things, those are tasks. They're not the purpose of the shepherd.
Yeah.
They're the tasks of the shepherd because his purpose is to help the sheep produce for the king, right?
That's great.
And that's our job as pastors. Right. A lot of people think, they think of their pastor as like their personal family chaplain.
Right.
I need you to lead me. I need you to feed me. I need you to protect me spiritually. I need you to take care of me.
Right.
And those are tasks that we have. But our primary purpose is to help the sheep in the church produce for God's kingdom.
That's great.
Right, for the king. So anyways, the Lord is my shepherd. Right. And I have nothing that I need.
The promise is that.
That's the
promise. The promise is I have all that I need.
That's right.
Now, hey, check it out. This book, it started out with that sentence and it said, who owns the sheep based on the quality of sheep. So this shepherd talked about like they all know this. Yeah. If they see a scrawny sheep filled with thistles and all these kinds of things, they're like, oh, that belongs to that guy, right?
Because he doesn't take care of his sheep.
He doesn't take care of his sheep. And sometimes there's a brand on a sheep, and so they'll know. Or sometimes there's a tag, and if the tag is a certain color, right? But technically, the book talked about how you can know if a sheep is well taken care of, groomed properly, they're healthy, they behave, and they all stay together. And there's just model sheep. He goes, every shepherd could think to themselves, oh, that sheep belongs to either that guy, or that family, right?
Right.
And so when he says, the Lord is my shepherd, I have all that I need. What David is really saying is, my brand is the Lord, right? Mm-hmm. And so everybody knows that if God's my shepherd, I'm taken care of.
That's good.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah,
that's the direct.
So
promise.
I love this. In the last one yesterday when we were reading in Philippians, Paul says the context. He's going to provide everything you need. He's talking first of all from a place of contentment, and provision. Right? I'm content. Doesn't matter that I'm in prison. Doesn't matter all these things. I'm content. God's going to take care of me. God's going to take care of you too. And I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And then today, 2 times, right? The Lord is my shepherd. I have all I need. And then, as you mentioned, my cup overflows.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Because
more than enough.
Yeah. Because that's God giving.
Right.
Right.
And I've been reading this book. It's sitting on my table in my office, called The Gap in the Gain. Okay. Remember, I don't know if you've seen it. So the premise, I mentioned it in this week's message, just briefly, one of the points. But most people don't feel content in Western society. There's a lack of contentment.
Yeah.
Part of that is we're so unbelievably rich. We have the opportunity to contemplate and the time to contemplate. Am I really content?
Right.
Most people are scrambling for food and for life in most of the rest of the world. And so contentment's not even an option. It's just survival. But here's the thing. So in our system in the U.S., Thomas Jefferson wrote that, in our founding documents, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So most of human history, people have been striving for life. And most of human history, people have been striving for liberty, right? Those two things are important. But the idea of the pursuit of happiness, not happiness, the pursuit of it.
Right.
We have it so baked into our culture that we genuinely believe happiness is out there. And then we have an entire social media system that tells us everybody we know is happier than we are.
Right.
Everybody, you scroll through and all your friends are on vacation in the Bahamas. They're only eating lobster. They're only laughing. They only wear the fanciest clothes. They all just got a brand new purse. Right. They all just got a new thing. And they only ever go to parties. And your life stinks. All you have is laundry and screaming kids.
Right.
Right? That's all you got.
So somebody once said that social media, everybody posts their highlight reels, not their blooper reels.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so we've got this desire for pursuit of happiness. And so there's two ways to live your life. And I think Paul teaches us this, and I think that David, because of his walk with God, is picking up on this. If you have an ideal that you're trying to live up to, this pursuit of happiness thing, you're always measuring it by your reality. And there's a gap between your reality and your ideal. And so you spend most of your time not content. You're not really thrilled. Things should be better. Oh, I know other people who have more. It's why, as wealthy as we are, Americans on average, just the average American is in the top 2% wealthiest people in the history of the world.
Not just the world, the history of the world.
Right. That's what I'm saying, the history of the world. And so
right now there's 8 billion, but there were more billions before us.
But we are fabulously wealthy, and yet we're not very content.
Right.
And it's because we're living in the gap between our reality and some ideal of the pursuit of happiness. We have this weird idea that there's something more for us out there that's going to be more happy. Finally, all my wildest dreams have come true. As opposed to the gain drives me to this idea of look how far we came. And especially from a shepherd's perspective. Right? Looking back, boy, we've come a long way, right? We started at that end of the valley, or we started way over there, and look how far we've come. When you start measuring how far you've come, you can be very content saying, God, you have really blessed me, right? Where I started in poverty, where I started in struggle, where I started all these things, look how far you brought me, God, right? Look how far he's brought our nation. We don't have a perfect nation, but boy, we've come a long way. Right? Look at what he's done to just bring in how far humanity has come. And so we have some opportunities to improve. So I'm inspired to continue to improve. But God, I am very content because you brought me so far. And so it's interesting with Paul, he goes, it doesn't matter whether I'm in chains or whether I'm free, whether I have a lot or a little bit. Yesterday, he's like, God's brought me a long way. And I think it's the same thing. You've got a shepherd talking about the good shepherd who continues, you lead me beside still waters. You make me rest, right? All those things. You guide me along the right path. Mm-hmm. And so he's really seeing the journey is where I'm finding my satisfaction. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of contentment knowing, hey, we're going somewhere. The shepherd's taking me to the right place. Now I can have contentment knowing he's taking me to the right place.
Right.
Rather than some fake ideal that I think I'm supposed to live up to because all my friends are doing it.
Yeah. And they're
not satisfied.
And I don't have time to regurgitate this whole book that I read, but I just want to say one statement, which is each of these together is the journey, right? Mm-hmm. Just like you said. Yeah. But at the same time, each verse is also a very detailed and meaningful picture of God's provision and protection along the way, right?
Yep,
so in other words, it's always God giving. Yeah. Right. So if you think about the 6 verses, it sort of lines up by David saying, "Okay, God's my shepherd. I have everything I need, and let me tell you how."
Right.
And he says he does this for me. He does this for me.
He leads me beside peaceful streams.
Yeah. Yeah,
He restores my soul.
and that has to do with protection because sheep can't swim.
Right.
So I mean, there's nuggets in here, right? We just don't have time to talk about it. But like, what the heck? I brought it up. A sheep won't go near running water because it's deathly afraid. So the shepherd will always
Carry him.
well, maybe. But what he'll do is, in order to drink, he'll use the end of the crook of his staff, and he'll make like a stagnant pool.
Yeah.
So it says he leads me beside still waters.
Right.
It's a form of provision. Right. So it's about still God giving.
Yeah, he'll make he'll pull water out of the moving stream.
That's right.
Create a soft pool or a gentle pool. Yeah.
And what's so funny is we hear this at funerals a lot because it says, "And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever." Right. And it's also a beautiful postcard scene, like still waters and green meadows.
Yeah, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, we have that piece too.
Yeah, we have that
funerals.
piece. Right. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
But the idea is that each step of the journey for the sheep is God giving and God providing.
Yes.
Which is why the promise that we're focusing on today is verse number 1, I have all that I need.
Right.
So that's our time for sure.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Good stuff.
All right. So, hey, hopefully we will see you next time on The Bible Guys.